Hmm. Let me go to YouTube and yeah, that should work. Okay. Hello, friends, enemies, strangers, and mothers. Those in the bardo, those in the hell realms, those in the hungry ghost realms, those in the animal realms, like this particular animal. Let's see. Uh, this particular animal. Mhm. Hasn't pooped yet. He hasn't pooped yet. Let's see. Let's see. Today is December 25th, 2024. So, Merry Christmas. Hmm. Well, I could have been saying Merry Christmas way back. Okay, it's too much. Feliz Navidad. But also, hmm, according to the Tibetan lunar calendar, uh, and it's kind of complicated because I think it's every 12 years they add a 13th month or something like that. Anyway, somehow, maybe that's for that reason that it coincides with Christmas. The day being uh, a pretty important day for Tibetan Tibetan Buddhists. Yes, I think even non-Geluk uh, Tibetans celebrate it. Hmm. Let's see. Hmm. I'd like to share with you. Hmm. My screen. I go to Kindle. Hmm. Hmm. So I picked up a book on the philosopher, yogi, and saint Tsongkhapa, Lama J. Tsongkhapa, 1357. You can remember that year. Uh, if you're into guns, 357 Magnum. Heard of that number that way. Uh, hmm, Another way could be a little bit more difficult to remember. So I don't know how to remember that one. I remember 1419 because if you move the number, oh no, that's for another year. I was thinking 1492. No, you can't move the nine over and you get 1492. Hmm. There's a year 1292 where if you move the four over, you get 1492. No. Yeah. How are you? Hi. Hi, how are you? Ah, I'm from Colombia, South America. Colombia.
Yeah, you know, some Colombians they look like Indians also
Oh,
from Africa, but then Indian only, but
oh,
generated one.
like South Africa?
Yeah, but five generations.
Wow.
With the gold and everything is there.
No, Merry Christmas. Thank you. Ah, entitled J. Tsongkhapa, Saint Tsongkhapa. Mm. Oof, I got distracted. Sorry. Uh, entitled. Hmm. So, Lama J. Tsongkhapa was a Tibetan philosopher, yogi, saint, and may I add, founder of at least one big important monastery in Tibet, and his followers went on to create a brand new school of Tibetan Buddhism. And this they ended up calling themselves Gelugpa, and the school is, or the lineage is called the Gelug tradition, right? Gelug lineage, Gelug school of Tibetan Buddhism. And it grew bigger and bigger and went on to become the biggest school of Tibetan Buddhism. So before that, there were just a few. There was an real old one, the Nyingma tradition, and there's the Sakya tradition and the Kagyu tradition, and they got sub sub lineages, sub schools. There's the Karma Kagyu, the Drikung Kagyu, and so on. The Drukka Kagyu, I believe. There's more, but one of the big Kagyu schools is Drikung Kagyu, and uh, guess what? Lama Tsongkhapa became a monk under the Drikung Kagyu tradition. Hmm. So, so was he a troublemaker because he created his own tradition? No, go ahead. and so let's see. What, uh, what 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 should we know about Lama Tsongkhapa? Oh, so there was a conference focusing on the intellectual legacy of Lama Tsongkhapa. Okay, the 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 conference was called Tsongkhapa Life, Thought, and Legacy. When did that happen? 2019, commemorating the 600th anniversary of Tsongkhapa's passing. Oh, wow. 600. He passed away 600 years ago, not 500, 600. Mm-hmm. So he lived over 600 years ago, right? So he passed away pretty much near this time. Well, year-wise, around December 21st through 23rd. Oh no, that's when they held this conference. So the conference was convened by His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, and as a result, was attended by a large and diverse audience of scholars, practitioners, local Indians and Tibetans, and pilgrims from around the world. Conference presentations were made in Hindi and English as well. Hmm. Were made in Tibetan and English as well as Hindi. So collected herein are the English presentations by the authors who are able and willing to revise and expand their conference presentation. Oh, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Gotta take a break. So what am I doing here? Well, I'm walking the dog, and guess what? The dog is scratching the grass. It's an indication that he may have pooped, and also left a fragrance that I could detect. So that means I gotta grab a piece, tear off a piece of a bag, plastic bag, and pick up the it, the feces. This is what it's called. Okay. Okay, so sorry for the interruption, but so what am I doing here? Not only that, but I'm reading something to commemorate the day. Today is a special day. It so happens that there's a a Tsongkhapa day that is hmm, it's kind of become like a holiday. It's kind of Tibet the Diwali day, the lights. And so kind this kind of is the equivalent for Tibetan. And so I thought instead of burning lights and things like that, maybe I'll perform the mantra of Lama Tsongkhapa. So it's pretty rare to get a mantra for yourself after you're gone. And so that means he's pretty honored and pretty powerful to practice something about him, maybe while practicing his mantra. And so in the conference, there was the scholar Donald S. Lopez Jr. He contributed an uh, something, an address, a keynote. His keynote address was called Tsongkhapa in Global Context, which serves as a very fine introduction to this volume. In In his essay, Dr. Lopez reflects upon the global significance of Tsongkhapa's legacy, both through the lens of his own experience as a scholar studying Buddhism, Ganden Monastery, 1979, and through comparison with major figures in the history of Christian thought. Hmm. Hmm. Wow. So Dr. Lopez had to study. He was a scholar. He had to study Buddhism in the Ganden Monastery way back in 1979. So the Ganden Monastery is one of the monasteries founded by Lama Tsongkhapa. So you might think, oh, because he started his own lineage, his own school of Tibetan Buddhism, wasn't he a troublemaker? Maybe, because it takes away attention from the other schools of Tibetan Buddhism. They have more competition. But maybe it was a good competition and it made the others stronger and better equipped to serve humanity, I would say. Let's see what happened. So there's essays that were contributed to this book. They fall into three broad areas. The first is the Madhyamaka. that that's Madhyamaka, not Madhyamika. There's another word, Madhyamika. But the Madhyamaka is a, a certain view of reality, you could say. A certain, perhaps a not quite a doctrine, but a view of reality in the mind and everything. So a natural reflection of the very important and well-known contributions Tsongkhapa made to the study of Indian philosophical thought in Tibet in his advocacy, in particular of the Prasangika Madhyamaka school of Nagarjuna, Buddhapalita and Chandrakirti, for chapters focused on Tsongkhapa's contributions in these areas. First, Guy Newland start making sense, finding Tsongkhapa's middle way, provides a straightforward and clear introduction to Tsongkhapa's interpretation, how Tsongkhapa played an essential role in clarifying Chandrakirti's contributions to Madhyamaka thought. Mhm. The essay focuses on the three truths, especially Chandrakirti's critique. Chandrakirti's critique of the concept of the intrinsic nature or reality of persons and things, and the implications of this with respect to how conventional reality is properly understood. An epistemological understanding was central to Tsongkhapa's unique approach. A closely related issue, the nature of the self, is explored in the second chapter. Tsongkhapa and Chandrakirti on uprooting samsara, the twofold object of the identity view. In this essay, Dr. Ditchen Rochard explores Tsongkhapa's understanding of Chandrakirti's negation of individual identity. After first exploring the issue, the identity view, Satkaya Drishti, crucial but often poorly understood topic in Buddhist philosophy. This presents Chandrakirti's and Tsongkhapa's argument, which connects this with a central existential problem, namely self-grasping, which can be alleviated via analytical meditation in which inherent identity is sought and not found. The essay neatly demonstrates the centrality of the practitioner's view of self, the path to spiritual awakening. By the way, have you been wondering what book I am reading? Okay, good question. Let's see, third chapter. Let's highlight this. Let's see. Let's see. Let's bookmark. Bookmark. No. Okay. So let's go back. So this is the legacy of Tibet's great philosopher saint, edited by David B. Gray. Mhm. So few figures have shaped the trajectory of Buddhism as much as the great philosopher and meditator, scholar, and reformer Tsongkhapa Losang Rakpa. Wow, 1357, 1419. Founder of the Geluk school of Tibetan Buddhism. And that school went on to produce the famous Dalai Lama lineage or school, the Dalai Lamas. There were 14 of them. We're on the 14th. And this may be the last one. Founder, yeah. And teacher of the first Dalai Lama. So he taught the first Dalai Lama, and he didn't even know that he would be known as the first Dalai Lama. It was after the third or fourth that they decided, oh, let's go back and determine the reincarnation of this Lama. Hmm. And so then they were great students of Tsongkhapa. Well, the first one was. So his Ganden tradition, that's what he called it, Ganden tradition, spread throughout Inner Asia. And today, through figures such as the Dalai Lama, who calls Tsongkhapa a second Nagarjuna. His teachings inspire philosophical conversations and ethical practices around the globe. Hmm. Yeah, there has been others that were called the second Nagarjuna or an emanation of Nagarjuna. Hmm. There is the founder of the Drikung Kagyu school, who is known as an, an emanation, you could say, at least, or an incarnation of Nagarjuna. They probably call him just the second Nagarjuna. Let's see. If I go to here and enter founder, founder of the Drikung Kagyu school. School. See what happens. Oops. Drikung Kagyu Institute. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Here it is. His name. Mm-hmm. It says the Drikung Kagyu or Drigung Kagyu. Maybe sometimes pronounced Kagyu, is one of the 8 minor lineages of the main school called the Kagyu School of Tibetan Buddhism. Major here refers to those Kagyu lineages founded by the immediate disciples of Gampopa, while minor refers to all the lineages founded by disciples of Gampopa's main disciple, Bagmod Drupa. One of these disciples, Jigten Sunggun, is the founder of Drikung. And there's the Drikung Kagyu lineage tree. It rhymes very similarly to the Geluk, the Geluk lineage tree. The Ganden lineage tree, maybe. So, and actually, so it was going on before it was founded. There were important people. But the founder of the Drikung Kagyu lineage was Jigten Sungun, 1143 to 1217 of the Kyura clan, who was disciple of Pagmodrupa. According to historical account from the time, Jigten Sungun's teachings attracted more than 100,000 people at a time, with the highest number of attendants recorded at 130,000. Several sub-schools branched off from the Trikung Kagyu, including the Lapa or Lanangpa Kagyu, founded by Ne Lanangpa. Came to Bhutan in 1194. This school was at one time important in western Bhutan, particularly in the Thimphu and Paro regions where they were rivals of the Drukpa Kagyu. The Hapa first came into conflict with the early Drukpa teacher, Majo Drugom Zikpo, born in the 12th century, and finally with the Nawang Namgyal, way much later in 1594 to 1651, or he lived in that time. In 1640, the remaining followers of the Lapa Kagyu were expelled from Bhutan together with the Neningpa followers, as both had sided with the attacking Tsongkhapa forces against the Drukpa during their invasions of Bhutan and continued to refuse to acknowledge the authority of the Shabdrung. There's a lot of fighting between schools, sounds like. Well, it looks like the Drukpas won. They were expelled. But what are the teachings and practices? The unique doctrines of the Jikung Kagyu was taught by its founder Jikten Sungun, preserved in the single intention or one thought work, and the essence of Mahayana teaching. According to Jempa Mackenzie Stewart, the Gonchik recast Buddhism in a fascinating and innovative form, emphasizing each aspect as being capable of revealing the full process of enlightenment. So the main practices of the Drikung Kagyu are the fivefold profound path of Mahamudra and the six dharmas of Naropa. They're also known as the six yogas of Naropa. The fivefold Mahamudra, also known as the possessing five, consists of the five elements, setting the motivation, arousing bodhicitta, deity yoga, generating wisdom. The main deity in Zikung Kagyu is Chakrasambhara in union with consort. Vajra Varahi. But Milarepa taught this method by using Chenresig. Hmm, interesting. Guru Yoga, Mahamudra meditation, Shamatha and Vipassana. So Mahamudra meditation includes Shamatha and Vipassana. Wow. Dedication of merit. So this practice is traditionally cultivated in retreat alongside the six dharmas of Naropa, and it is preceded by the preliminary practices called Nongdro. So I think these items were passed along by Lama Tsongkhapa pretty much. So he wasn't that revolutionary. Hmm. Let's see. The Drikung Kagyu also have a tradition of Dzogchen teachings. The Yang Zab Dzogchen is based on termas revealed by a Drikung Turton, hidden treasure revealer, Rinchen Punsok in the 16th century. And Poa, wow, the Drikung Kagyu is famous for its Poa. The Drikung Kagyu lineage is popularly known for its development of the practice of Poa, in which the practitioner learns how to expel his or her consciousness or mind stream through the posterior fontanelle at the top of the skull at the moment of death. One of the six yogas of Naropa. This practice is said to aid the practitioner in remaining aware through the death experience, thus aiding one to attain enlightenment in the bardo, the state between death and the next rebirth, or in achieving a birth conducive to the practice of dark. Okay, so monasteries, and there's those, those lineage notes. Mhm. This is like the head of the Drikung Kagyu currently, the head of the Drikung order. Okay. Mhm. Female protector, there's Achi Choki Drolma, a female Dharmapala, the great grandmother of Jikten Sumgun. She prophesied his birth and vowed to protect those in his lineage. She is unusual in that she is both a female protector and an enlightened bodhisattva that can be taken as an Ishta Devata. Ishta Devata in meditation practice. She's depicted either sitting on a horse or standing with a kapala in her left hand and a mirror on her right hand. Achi's practice became so popular that she has been included in other lineages, such as the Karma Kagyu. Okay, so let's see. Let's go back. See what does J Song Kappa? What do they say about J Song Kappa in the Wikipedia? Oh, oh, I selected the Spanish version. Let me go to the English version. Okay, so let's see. There we go. So Tsongkhapa, crown ornament of the land of no, the scholar in crown ornament of the land of the snow. You can think of him as Buddha Shakyamuni in Vajradhara. And you can think of him as Avalokiteshvara. And you can think of him as Vajrapani, Buddha of power of Tantra. Okay, so, but getting down to conventional history, his name means the man from Tsongkha. So, Tsongkha is a region in Tibet, and it means Onion Valley. There's this date, 1357, 1419. So he was an influential Tibetan tantric yogi whose activities led to formation of the Gilic school of Tibetan Buddhism, synthesis of, as a synthesis of earlier Kadampa schools. So he's known for the founder of the Gelug school, author of numerous works on Tibetan Buddhist thought and practice. His philosophical works are a grand synthesis of Buddhist epistemological tradition of Dhyanga and Dharmakirti, the Chittamatra philosophy of mind, and the Madhyamaka philosophy of Nagarjuna and Chandrakirti. Central to his philosophical and soteriological teachings is a radical view of emptiness, which sees all phenomena as devoid of intrinsic nature. This view, ooh, this view of emptiness is not a kind of nihilism or a total denial existence. Instead, it sees phenomena as existing interdependently, relationally, non-essentially, conventionally, which Tsongkhapa terms mere existence. Mere existence. So there's existence, which is being able to exist on its own. And there's mere existence that suggests that it's connected to everything else in the universe. So everything exists thanks to everything else in the universe. And so that's the interdependentness of it, the interdependentness and the relationalness and the non-essentialness and the conventionalness of it. I like that. In the interdependentness, relationalness, and non-essentialness of it. All together, it is called mere existence. So everything exists. Everything merely exists, but nothing exists uh, from its intrinsic nature. Like there is nothing that exists from its own side. Maybe the universe exists. Tsongkhapa emphasizes the importance of philosophical reasoning in the path to liberation. According to Tsongkhapa, meditation must be paired with rigorous reasoning in order to push the mind and precipitate a breakthrough in cognitive fluency and insight. So, let's see. Oh, biography. Let's see. So he, wow. So he had a Mongolian father and a Tibetan mother. Was born into a nomadic family in the walled city of Tsongkhapa in Amdo, Tibet. That's in present day Haidong and Xining and Qinghai. I guess the, the Chinese renamed those areas with a Chinese name. So Tsongkhapa was educated in Buddhism from an early age by his first teacher, the Kadam monk Choje Dondru Rinchen. So Tsongkhapa became a novice monk at the age of 6. So, but when he was 16, he traveled to central Tibet, Fujian, where he studied at the Scholastic Institute of the Sangpu Monastery, and also at the Drikung Kagyu, and in the Sakya tradition of Sakya Pandita. So he got a taste of the Kagyu, of the Sakya. Mhm. I don't know what the Sangpu monastery is is representative of in terms of whether it's if it's Ningpa or Kagyu or Sakya. But at least there were, you could say there were Kadam uh, schools and Kagyu schools and Sakya schools and Nyingma schools. Mhm. Maybe Kadam schools kind of hmm, kind of overlapped amongst the others. Perhaps Kadam was so influential that it filtered into all the other schools, the Kadams, the Kadampas, the Kadam school. What did it become? Well, he had a Kadam monk, so maybe they had their own Kadam monastic monastery. A monk by the name of Choje Dondruk Rinchen. There's no information on that monk that was given the name. So that's his first encounter uh, of Buddhism through the Kadam monk, Choje Dondruk Rinchen. But Kadam comes by way of Atisha. So whatever Atisha taught, it got it it influenced all the schools. Tsongkhapa studied widely under numerous teachers from various Tibetan traditions. His main teachers include the Sakya masters Rindawa and Rinchen Dorje, the Kagyu masters Chenga Rinpoche, and the Jonang masters Bedong, Chakle, Namgyal, Kyungpo, Kalepa, and Choki Palpa. Tsongkhapa also received the three main Kadampa lineages. He received the Lamrim lineage, the oral guideline lineage for the Nyingma Lama Lodrak Nam Yeltsin, and the lineage of textual transmission from Lama Umapa. Rendawa Zono Lodro was Tsongkhapa's most important teacher. Under Rendawa, Tsongkhapa studied various classic works, including Pramanavartika, the Abhidharma Kosha, the Abhidharma Samyuchaya, and the Madhyamaka Vatara. So studied with a Nyingma teacher, Drupchen Leki Dorje, also known as Namkya Gyaltsen. And so in his early years, he was able to compose a few original works, including the Golden Garland, commentary on the Abhisamaya Lamkara, from the perspective of the Yogacara Swatrantika Madhyamaka tradition of Santarakshita, which also attempts to refute the Shengtong views of the Dolpopa. Okay, so this mentioned that he got a good education from different schools of and masters of Tibetan Buddhism in his time, and he started off with a Kadam monk. Hmm. Okay, so let's go back to the book Tsongkhapa. Yes, perhaps. Whether you are well acquainted with Tsongkhapa's life and thought or are encountering him here for the first time, you'll find this an illuminating survey of his unique explorations, the highest aspirations of humanity. Here we discover Tsongkhapa the philosopher, Tsongkhapa the master of the Buddhist canon, Tsongkhapa the tantric adept, Tsongkhapa is a visionary who united wisdom to compassion to commemorate the 600th anniversary of his passing. Some of the foremost translators and interpreters of his teachings composed the incisive reflections of his special contributions collected here. Contributions by some of the world's finest scholars of the Gilug tradition. This broad-ranging work surveying Tsongkhapa's thought as a whole will be the go-to source book for Tsongkhapa studies for many years to come, making it a real gift to scholars and practitioners alike. Este Ignacio Cabezon. He's the Dalai Lama Professor of Tibetan Buddhism and the Cultural Studies at the University of California, Santa Barbara. Mm-hmm. So we've got Voy a ver. No, no, nadie, nadie tiene recycling. Ujú. Nadie tiene. Wow, yeah. Oh, we were reading in the third chapter of the book, Thinking Beyond Thought, Tsongkhapa in Minpan on the conceptualized ultimate. J. L. Garfield explores Tsongkhapa's views on the nature ultimate reality. Wow. Specifically, Tsongkhapa's argument. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. The movement from inferential to direct awareness. Mm-hmm. On the importance of ascertainment on emptiness by Tukten Jimpa. The need for ascertainment or the correct apprehension of a given truth. In this case, emptiness. Consequence of sustained meditation practice. Mm-hmm. Mm. 2/3 of his writings focus on the tantras and their associated. Wow. Ah. That masterful Tantra. Wow, this is an awesome book. Mm-hmm. Mm. In Mongolia. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll look at this later. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to get out. So thank you for watching. Thank you. Oops, my messy room. So thank you for watching and listening mostly. I downloaded a sample of the book and it sounds very good. I can learn much from it. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant day, Christmas Day. Uh, I got lots to do. Help my sister out. And I'm going to bring my mother to eat breakfast. So there you go. May this benefit all sentient beings, all my kind mothers. So this, I uploaded this to wake up and think clearly. I used to upload things like this to Buddhism for Happiness, but YouTube found a violation in one of the videos that I uploaded. It found sex and nudity towards the tail end of a broadcast like this live to YouTube. So, and I had a previous strike. That's another thing, I guess, long time ago. I'm not sure when, but unceremoniously, the YouTube channel that I started in 2009, Buddhism for Happiness, was removed. But I'm back with a new channel called Buddhism for Happiness for All. So I'd like to share that one right quick. Wait a minute. My sister might get mad if I don't hurry. Let's see. Hurry. Okay, so Buddhism. No, let's see if I can find it. No. I'll change. Buddhism. There it is. Buddhism for Happiness for all. What, the videos. So that's the video, my first video. And so I've got 28 views. So I read about Sakya. So y'all come by and check out my Buddhism for Happiness for All channel. I'll be adding more content. The Okay, I disconnected. Trying to show you my Buddhism for Happiness channel. For all. Buddhism for Happiness for all. So I used to have a Buddhism for Happiness, the number 4 happiness channel. It's gone now. I started it in 2009. Now it's gone. I'm devastated somewhat, but I will go on with a new channel called Buddhism for Happiness for All. Also, with the each 4 is not spelled out, but written as a word. Buddhism for Happiness for All. The number 4 could mean four, the four noble truths, if you like. It also means the word for. So let me